Wendy Williams made a name for herself in radio, finding a personal connection with her audience as she opened up about her own life. She's gone through miscarriages, struggled with a drug addiction. Aside from being an incredibly charismatic talk show host who keeps it real, the details of her personal life have always drawn questions. Like, what's going on with her husband? And is Wendy's health okay? Despite the controversies and headlines, Wendy Williams is a legend in her respective field. She is an inductee to the National Radio Hall of Fame. She's won countless awards and has been a fixture within pop culture for over 20 years. So if you want to know more about the polarizing TV show host, then stay tuned for the story of Wendy Williams. Wendy Joan Williams was born on July 18, 1964. She grew up in the Wayside section of Ocean Township, a suburb of Ashbury Park, New Jersey, the second of 3 children born to Thomas and Shirley Williams. She attended Ocean Township High School, graduating in 1982. From there, she moved out to Boston, where she attended Northeastern University, studying communications. Wendy discovered her gift for gab at Northeastern as a DJ for the school's radio station, WRBB. After graduating, she began her career in radio with a job at WVIS in the Virgin Islands. A couple years later, in 1989, she scored a job in New York as a substitute disc jockey for the urban contemporary station WRKS, now known as WEPN-FM. Within a year, she got promoted to host the afternoon drive time shift, and she nailed it. She was getting so much buzz that she even appeared as herself in an episode of Martin. This was the first of several cameos to come. She would later appear in The Cookout and Cookout 2, New York Undercover, Drop Dead Diva, 30 Rock, Law & Order, SVU, and more. Wendy won the Billboard Award for Best On-Air Personality in 1993. But while she was killing it professionally, she was struggling with an addiction to cocaine that would last 10 years. According to Wendy, it was hard to quit. Partly because no one around her acknowledged what was going on. Also partly because her addiction didn't have much of a negative impact on her day-to-day life. As she put it, I was a functioning addict. I'd work from 3 in the afternoon until 7 at night, get off and party until 7 in the morning, then sleep until 2, go to the radio station and do it all again. Around this time, she may have hooked up with Notorious B.I.G. I'm not even kidding. A few years later, after Wendy Williams mocked Lil' Kim's plastic surgery, Lil' Kim went on a Twitter rant, tweeting, among other things, "Stop hating on me because you sucked Big's dick and he didn't want nothing to do with your ass after that." Wendy didn't confirm or deny the rumor, but honestly, this doesn't seem like much of an insult. I mean, if she hooked up with one of the best MCs of all time, that's probably to her credit. If anyone should be ashamed, it's Biggie, right? We're in agreement on that? Another dude Wendy hooked up with while she was working as a radio DJ was her first husband, who she refers to by the pseudonym Robert Morris III in her autobiography. Robert was a big guy, standing at 6'3" and 300 pounds. He had graying hair, was well-dressed, and worked in sales at her radio station. Wendy and Robert's flirtation turned serious, and they got married, but it wouldn't last long. They got divorced after just 4 months. In 1994, MS Broadcasting bought her radio station, switched its programming to adult contemporary, and moved Wendy to their other New York property, WQHT Hot 97. It was around this time that her romance with Kevin Hunter began. She met him on her 30th birthday when Kevin was still just 22 years old. Despite the age difference, the relationship worked. Okay. Wendy credits him coming into her life as the reason she was able to quit doing coke. She was falling in love with him, so she decided to wean herself off the drug gradually, and it worked. Wendy and Kevin married on November 30th, 1997, but bad news was just around the corner. In 1998, Wendy was fired from Hot 97. Kevin became Wendy's agent, and she got a new job in Philadelphia working at WUSL Power 99 FM. At the time, the station was not doing well, sitting in 14th place in the ratings. But Wendy's big personality and honesty helped to draw a much larger audience. It was while working for Power 99 FM that Wendy opted for a breast augmentation. Attempting to start a family with Kevin, she had 3 miscarriages. She talked openly about these issues on air, as well as her prior struggles with addiction, and the station's ratings jumped to 2nd place. On August 18, 2000, Wendy gave birth to her son, Kevin Hunter Jr. The next year, she moved back to New York to start a full-time syndicated radio show with WBLS, with a 2 to 6 p.m. time slot. One of the show's biggest moments was a provocative 2003 telephone interview with Whitney Houston, in which Wendy persistently asks Whitney about her drug habits, spending habits, and some even more personal areas. The interview helped get Wendy a lot of publicity. Even though the two never met in person, Wendy felt the two had a lot in common, and when Whitney died in 2012, Wendy paid a teary tribute to the departed star. In 2008, Wendy and her husband got hit with a lawsuit from a talent booker named Nicole Spence. She alleged that Kevin demanded sex from her on several occasions and threatened and assaulted Wendy at work, creating a hostile work environment. Both Wendy and Kevin have denied the charges. In 2009, Wendy was inducted into the National Radio Hall of Fame and left her radio show to focus on her TV show, which had already begun airing by this time. The year prior, she was offered a 6-week trial for her talk show, The Wendy Williams Show. It aired for the first time in 4 cities during the summer of 2008, and Fox decided to pick up the show for national broadcasting beginning in 2009, with BET picking up the cable rights and international distribution. The show has gone on to receive 4 Daytime Emmy nominations, has become the most popular BET show in the UK, and its associated YouTube channel boasts 1.2 million subscribers and 800,000 daily views. While embarking on her television hosting career, Wendy was also featured on a number of programs, including Drop Dead Diva, The Face, as well as being a contestant on Dancing with the Stars. Wendy also appeared in multiple films in Steve Harvey's Think Like a Man films. Wendy started her own reality television production company in 2013, which produced shows like Celebrities Undercover. Wendy's show would continue to see high ratings and viewership, but people started questioning Wendy's health around the time she fainted during a taping of a Halloween-themed episode. Up until 2018, Wendy had not missed one episode of her show. However, in February of that year, Wendy announced that she had Graves' disease and hyperthyroidism, and that she would begin taking a 3-week hiatus due to complications regarding her condition. Wendy's condition seemed to get more serious in 2019 when the Williams-Hunter family released a statement that Wendy had been hospitalized due to complications with Graves' disease, and the show would be indefinitely delayed. Wendy had a number of guests host the show during this time to fill her slots and duties, which included the likes of Nick Cannon. This seemed to be the beginning of a new set of problems for Wendy, as rumor and allegations of her husband Kevin Hunter being unfaithful started to circulate, and they turned out to be true. But not only was Kevin cheating, but he also got another woman pregnant. This was the last straw for Wendy, as she subsequently filed for divorce immediately after. This also resulted in Wendy firing Kevin as an executive producer from The Wendy Williams Show. The divorce was rather messy and bitter, to say the least, as there was no prenup in place, so Kevin was entitled to half of Wendy's assets, and given that the newly single Wendy has a net worth of $40 million, Kevin tried to get his hands on that, along with a number of different things, like the child support and alimony. The divorce has since been finalized, and though the details have not been officially revealed, I think it's safe to say Kevin made off with enough to keep him satisfied. This, however, was not the end of Wendy's health issues, as she did reportedly test positive for COVID-19 in September 2021. This also coincides with reports that Wendy has been heavily drinking while on set, along with more reports stating Wendy is currently restricted to a wheelchair and battling early stages of dementia. Although her brother has come out and stated that these reports are false and that she has not displayed any type of this behavior to the family. Her brother told The Sun, "I try to make it up there and my dad speaks with Wendy frequently. So no, we don't have any concerns concerning her mental state, it's all physical." Hopefully these are just rumors and allegations so we can see Wendy back in her purple chair soon. Thanks for checking out this video, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and leave a comment for who you'd like us to feature next. Alright, thanks. Bye.